But I have a dream today. One day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today.
Dear Mr. President, a word says and carries a lot, expected much from a name. And see, my name has to do with a father that has free reign, and that's me. Bright and lighthearted, well regarded, but most see a boy that's black in pigment. And it's in that instant I'm put into the category of the inferior majority, scoring me grades 1 through 5. I still think about it even from grades 6 through 9. Plus, because of my pigment, I was bullied from time to time. Was at a disadvantage because I was small in size. I heard God made us beautifully and everyone's a masterpiece, but as far as I can see, nobody's treated equally. Growing up, you hear of murder, rape, robbery, and abuse. And slowly but surely, you begin to think, what if that was you? The next victim that meets his or her demise, it sends a chill down a grown man's spine, all a matter of who, what, when, where, how, and why. That was a fear for me, but that's all in the past. I walk braver now. I can't and won't let that stop me. See, unlike most of these peeps, I didn't grow up on the streets. I didn't know or care for that gang catching body streets. Instead of stacking up on drugs, I stacked up on books. Had and still have parents that love and care for me. Said I had to be my best. Said when it's all said and done, I should have no regrets, no excuses. See, I strive to be a leader. I learned that life is what you make of it, so I'll make known of my existence.
Dear Mr. President, it's amazing how at the age of just minutes, one can go through so much. October 8, 2001 at 7:59 p.m. It was a Monday at Our Lady of Mercy Hospital, the day that I was born. For 4 days, I was gone. I was gone, at least in my mother's eyes. Both of us in the ICU, and God, only God knows what happened. All I know is that I was named Demetria Ramos. That's who I am. I'm the girl who was held not in loving arms, but in dangerous hands. The one who was told stories by a traumatized mother with images and pictures of how we suffered. 7 years old, I was clueless. Didn't even know what the definition of divorce was. All I knew was that Daddy wasn't home. He was long gone, and it was just me, my mom, my sister, all alone in this 2-bedroom home. No one to teach me how to ride a bike, no one to show me how to fight. Rather, my mom showing me what was wrong from right. But in the 7th grade, Mom was diagnosed with cancer. I began to see more hospitals than my own room. I didn't like change, but this was a change that I was going to have to accept. My diet changed, my thought changed, even a thought about cutting my hair to be just like her, to be just like Mom. I was worried, scared, and confused, but her smile was enough to tell me, Mommy's gonna make it. With that same smile, I made it. Sister was always in school, so it was time for me to step up. My maturity level had to grow up. But truth is, I am a Hispanic with curly hair, who has always felt like the sore thumb. I tried to fit in with the way I spoke, what I spoke, and why I spoke it. But this girl, me, has no tattoos to describe the pain. Rather, the bruises tell their story. Like I said, I'm the girl who was held, not in loving arms, but in dangerous hands. Yes, I am that girl, and I'll always be that girl. That girl managed to get through her first year of high school. That girl managed to get a 90 average. That girl managed to be in the band, bowling team, and much more. That same girl got to her sophomore year, and now I'm at the end. Now I'm just waiting for junior year. So junior year, come on, let's go.
Dear Mr. President, everyone has a story from different places in different parts of the world. Mine just so happens to be in the Bronx. See, when I was born, I already got into a life of struggle. When I was born, I came out of my mom's womb with a low heart rate. My parents also had dilemmas with themselves and the household, and I couldn't even talk to anybody about it. It made me even more shy. It made me depressed because I always wanted that perfect family. Luckily, what my parents did, thanks to their support, they have tried their best to get me out of that shy shell that I had within me. They took me to different extracurricular activities, but I couldn't commit until dancing. My first dance school, Starlight Dance Studios. The moment I danced and I was taught the basic, it gave me this rush, this high adrenaline that made me happy. It made me feel happy inside to the point where I was taken out of that shell and given the gift, the ability to talk to people, to have the will, to have that kind of skill. With dancing, it helped me in a lot of ways in terms of my persona and my way of expressing myself to others. It became my lifestyle, became my passion. This is who I am now. Dancing became my therapy and made me the man who I was meant to be. Thanks to dancing, it opened me up. It allowed me to do better for myself.
Dear Mr. President, being born and raised in the Bronx is a battle in and out of itself. Something that only those who check in can understand. Being surrounded by violence, crime, and drugs, and the inability to succeed and prosper is what's shown virally throughout mega media systems. But they forget the hunger that lies within us to be more than that. They forget us entirely and don't even realize we're coming for what they said we couldn't have. Before I checked into this world, it already had a plan to take me out. I may not have realized the war I entered when I was just a young girl. I was blinded, being protected by my parents from the real world. I had Crayola and Barbie dolls and a wall full of arts and crafts, but there weren't any rainbows sitting outside my doorway. For a little kid, imaginations were all that ran through my head. If I only knew then what I was seeing wasn't a dream. But I found rainbows once I stepped into the Walt Disney School. Kids of different colors, different backgrounds and practices, each one looking like a different crayon in the box. But what made us all allies was the war we were all fighting together. I learned my ABCs and 1, 2, 3s like any other child. I passed my tests and did my best with the opportunities granted to me. Ironic. Why? Because half of the time, my best wasn't good enough. Because the students from the Bronx don't get as much help as anywhere else. Students elsewhere have been supported and guided with the help since the day they were born. What about us? See, us students are blinded from the harsh reality that the education system is filled with because we're not wide awake enough to realize it. And we spend most of our time with our backs turned to it, drowning in laziness and the attitude that we're just here because it's the law and our parents make us. We do not witness and comprehend the beauty in education and the opportunities laid in front of us that we take for granted until it can no longer be taken at all. What about us? It's no labyrinth, but let me show you the complicated passages and paths which makes it difficult for us to find our rainbow. How come only 9% of people in the Bronx only have graduate degrees, and only 20% don't even make it across the stage, exiting their childhood and entering adulthood? How come we are forced to go to college, yet we can't even build a career without the piece of paper taped on our back with big, bold black letters on it saying, something degree? How come what we're supposed to have isn't even accessible to us because my mother works at a supermarket making $8 an hour and my father isn't even in my life? Why must I have to put double the blood, sweat, and tears I normally would have to put in order to accomplish my goals because I'm poor, Latina, and I live in the Bronx? I entered high school with the support from the TRIO program, and now they want to shut it down. And if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have made it this far. How come I'm expected to not have anything going for myself because of all these impossibilities that set me back to do so? Yet, I managed to receive 15 plus college acceptances, some from the most prestigious schools in the country and in New York State, maintaining about a 3.5 average, straight A's, recognized as one of the top students in my class. The hunger in the pit of my stomach is what provoked this. The idea that those higher above us doubt that we can make it far is what pushes us more, so that we don't fall under the statistics and instead prove them differently. With this project, we had a goal in mind, a certain mission we wanted to achieve, which was for our voices and stories to be heard and for a change to be made. But, respectfully and filled with hope, I have a mission for President Donald Trump and Capitol Hill, to please from the hearts and pens of thousands of students, save our education system, and don't forget about us.
Dear Mr. President.
Dear Mr. President.
Dear Mr. President.
Dear Mr. President.
We all have a voice. We all have a story. Let it be heard.
We, the Bronx, know what it is to go through obstacles and overcome. I am no victim of the struggle or being underserved.
I'm not a victim. We'll succeed no matter what.
The Bronx is still burning, burning with a passion to succeed.
Once I graduate college, am I guaranteed a job?
What's up with the $9.2 billion budget cut for education?
After School provides many helpful programs to the students in their schools. So why cut the budget by $1.2 billion?
And where are the after-school programs and dedicated teachers?
I've been a TRIO student for 2 years. I've done Saturday Academy, Summer Bridge, and after school. So why cut the budget by 10% nationwide?
Why cut after-school programs when we actually need more after-school programs?
Why is it that teachers have to run GoFundMe campaigns to raise money for books? Where's the funding?
TRIO gave us a safe place that felt like home away from home. Why cut teacher training by $1.2 billion?
The Bronx made me strong and resilient.
We have unlimited potential. We have power in all the knowledge that we've acquired. We have persevered and will continue to do so. Our passion is relentless. We are unraveling our purpose and walking into our destiny. We don't want you to fail. We want you to succeed. We want you to succeed for this nation, for the states, the cities, and for the people, for the Bronx, for us, for me.
What about us? What about me?
The first TRIO program was created in 1964. Lehman College received funding to run their own TRIO program in 2007. Since then, Lehman College has serviced 500 to 600 students annually. We have serviced over 5,000 Bronx students, over 1,000 were seniors, 88% graduated, and 74% enrolled in college.
We shall overcome. We shall overcome. Deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome. Though I join hands so often with students and others behind jail bars singing it, we shall overcome. Sometimes we've had tears in our eyes when we joined together to sing it, but we still decided to sing it. We shall overcome.
All right, guys, I would like to welcome you guys to Washington, D.C. How many of you is your first time in Washington, D.C.? All right, first time experiences, awesome.